Hi, thanks for taking the time to click the second episode of Zero Thoughts. In this episode, I'll be talking and showcasing brutal aspect of a mission. Like most day one players can tell you, brutal was basically the end game difficulty, which was removed from the game year one. We are on year two now, and for the small majority that appreciates something challenging, you can clearly see the negative effects of it not being in the game. Like the bar to be considered a good player is set pretty low, and to top it off, the overabuse of exploits is just commonplace in Avengers, and that's just a whole episode topic on its own. But for this video, if you're familiar with the villain sector, you can use the timestamps if you're interested in a specific section. I could go into some serious gameplay aspects Avengers isn't capitalizing on, but I'll just keep it short with a few extra pointers. And other than that, just enjoy the video. Yeah, I'll be playing the Turbulence Elite Villain Sector on Challenge 4. If you're new to Avengers, Challenge 4 used to be the brutal option. Now it's basically just a resource boost. But I'll be showcasing this with my Hawkeye. I'm going to use a more hands-on approach, so just bear with me. And like I said, you can use the timestamps for specific sections. So let's get started. I'll be fast forwarding this part just so we can get through it. And we'll stop right about here. Okay, so this section of the mission, these enemies are 160, but we will at this point look at it in a brutal setting, which would make them 195. That's the highest power level for enemies at the moment. And also start back the video while I explain. Unfortunately, I got all small to medium-sized enemies, but at times dreadbots and large enemies can spawn. If the issues people find it too hard, I'm gonna just put in perspective using the custom harm room ranking. For those that don't know, Cryo Brutal size 3 clear is the bare minimum needed for Brutal, and I would say a group of B tiers can handle this whole section. If you get large enemies, have at least one A tier player, but understanding battery is key, and it's not rocket science. It's just people's lack of effort on a serious level to try and to think that's what the devs are catering to, because at this point, what is it? That's just what it looks like to me, honestly. The only thing that makes sense to me is they're just making way too much money off skins. But to be honest, I honestly hope that's not true. I'll be fast forwarding this part just so we can get through it. So this area right here is basically what fodder enemies to either catch up back on your heroics for those who are missing, who wasted too much, to prepare you for the next area. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, right? You can either A, go continue your objective, or B, go for an high value target. This is the one maybe change I would put, maybe make the high value targets plus 30 or even plus 40. But honestly, that's just me overthinking it. But what we can agree on that high value targets need to drop something, making it worth going to waste your time to beat it. Shoot, and like all you can see right now, there's ads. Anyone knows those shots from Unbrutal, they do hurt if you don't have the right defense rating. The Exo right here has an overshield. I would imagine overshield on Brutal, you would need coordination for it. Right now, my companions are just having their way with the high value target. Just the difficulty on it is non-existent. Yeah, and just after that, you basically continue with the objective. Like these enemies right here, you can mix it up as well. Add in some plus 30s or plus 40s to overcomplicate it, but at plus 20 with those overshield, I'm pretty sure it's tough as is, right? And just complete that objective. I'm definitely going to just skip a spot. I have like two more points I would like to point out and then finish the video. Okay, so you're out the elevator now. You could either go left to fight the boss, or go right to get like an extra item or fight an extra boss. Anything they could make it anything. What I'm gonna do is like you can check it out in episode one. I'll put a timestamp reference. I explained it there pretty well. But yeah, there's just more stuff you can do in one mission where you can still get items, still get gear, make it feel rewarding. Hopefully that's something they could do, but they don't do it, right? Yeah, I'm gonna just wind it down here, honestly. I'm not going to get into why bosses need to be on brutal. The bosses die so pointlessly fast, it's ridiculous. And with how a handful of players that I've seen play demolish brutal enemies, why are heroes getting buffs and not the enemies? Look, cloning labs is coming out and you need to be 175, right? Nothing is said if it's going to be on brutal, but their track record, they will increase the hero's power levels, making brutal difficulty even more pointless because it will just add more stats to already overpowered heroes. Look, with all my frustration with Avengers difficulty, it will more or less survive because it's a Marvel game, but as a looter, it fails on a lot of fronts. The community not messing with difficulty is, I guess, tolerable, but when the devs seem to be on that vibe, honestly, that's just a different direction, especially when it was already in the game. Like I say, just make it an event, see how it's accepted. You've done that experiment before. But at this point, Marvel Avengers to me, it's just cashing in. But hopefully things change with cloning labs. And like I said, this is Zero Thoughts episode 2. Hey, if you made it this far, much appreciated. If this video just gave you a better insight on brutal content, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I also have a Twitter post I created a while back, just asking the general public the downside to including brutal. Nothing so far bad. So if you have some negatives, do tell. I'll leave a link in the comments below. And other than that, my next episode will be on Gotham Knights. That IGN coverage actually was pretty good. Might actually period it. But until next time, you can catch me on my socials. Those links are below. And thanks for watching. And while I leave you with these humbling words. 調子に乗るなよ、加藤氏。